Welcome to Ray and Clare's Allotment. A year ago since I done my last video, it was March last year, beginning of lockdown. March 2021, coming towards hopefully the end of lockdown in England. So let's have a look, see what's going on. We're starting off today in our sort of social area. As I said in my last one, we don't have a garden, so this is our sort of like entertainment space. It's where Clare will plant her flowers, okay, and it's very much a garden rather than an allotment, this area. You'll notice my chickens are out. Okay, we've got some new arrivals for this year, 5 more to increase the amount of eggs we get, and they're out and about enjoying scratching about and supplementing their food, eating all the slug eggs, and hopefully giving me less problems during the coming year. So as we walk down my allotment, let's have a look, and we can see got the beds as before, very productive last year. Remainder here of my brassicas, just a few left over. You can see in the background there my geese, okay, again taking an opportunity to supplement their food. Over there you can just about see there's my carrot box waiting to start, tree there, cut flower area, and all the beds pretty much ready to go for the season. I've got a few things in. Just here we've got winter onions, and they've been sitting there all winter and starting to pick up now. As the weather gets warmer, they'll get more and more. Just here, another one of onions. Okay, we've got a load of tulips here. I thought I dug them all up last year, but obviously didn't, so we'll let them flower, take them in, and then I'll pick them up and move them this year. Okay. And then just here got a bed of garlic, mixture of softneck and elephant garlic in there, hopefully give us a nice crop in the coming year. Going on, another bed, remnants of last year's crops, just waiting for this year to start. Every bed's now been composted with homemade compost. Just over there underneath all that wood chip is our asparagus, and again hoping for a really good crop this year. And behind that are my rose bushes, and hopefully I'll get some nice roses from there. So let's have a look at the greenhouse. I've just recently purchased a minimum maximum thermometer to keep an eye on what the temperature was, and we were expecting -2 last night. Excuse the noise. And in here it only got down to 1.5, so quite a significant improvement. What we've got waiting here is, they're my summer onions, just sitting there waiting, pick up a bit later. Got some more summer onions, peas and broad beans, and then here we've got a load of seeds starting, only put in last 5 to 6 days, so not expecting a lot from them at the moment. We have got a tray that's been inside and now been moved outside of spring onions and leeks, which was just sitting here waiting till the right time to go out. So set up in the greenhouse, makeshift boxes to stand them up. I've got a tray down there to keep them in, drawers here, and the main engine for this greenhouse are these massive, great big, and I don't know if you can see them very well, I've got great big water tanks here. They're 205 litre barrels, painted black, they're full up with water, and during the day they'll collect heat, and I'm pretty sure that they make quite a bit of difference to the temperature in here overnight. We have a look at the temperature. Okay, we're at 12.5 and it is currently 4 degrees outside this greenhouse. I have an opaque insulated roof, and then just plain glass around the sides. Seems to work very well for me. The back end Bearing in mind this is facing north, I lined with silver foil so that gives reflective light back into the greenhouse, and again I find that works really well. Okay, coming out of the greenhouse, got my fruit cage right in front of me. Not a lot going on in there at the moment, a few buds coming up, but we will have in there cherries because there's a cherry tree that is trained. I've also got raspberries, gooseberries, white currants and red currants. No, sorry, not white currants, black currants. Here's my frame here for our beans and peas. Okay, and a new addition to my garden, my allotment this year, because I had lots of time when I couldn't work, I built myself a lean-to on the side of my main shed, which I use quite successfully and really nicely as a little potting shed. And it means that no matter what the weather's doing outside, I've got a nice roof and I can sit here, stand here, even if it's raining, potting my seeds up. In here I keep all my trays underneath. Then I've got compost and a big bag of vermiculite. As we head off towards the polytunnel, I use vermiculite to mix with compost, just to make sure it's free draining. It bulks up the compost, it stores water but also stops it being too waterlogged. That is, by the way, my chicken and goose run. Okay, and that's where they live normally. Okay, but today I've got the door open and letting them explore. I just buy insulating vermiculite. You can buy horticultural vermiculite, but I'm really not entirely sure what the difference is. And I don't find any difference apart from cost. That great big bag cost me £9, and you go to the garden centre and see how much a little tiny bag is going to cost you. So here's my polytunnel. We talked about this in the last one, that I was going to build it, and now it's built. Here it is. Oops, trip over here. Okay, it is 14 foot wide and 30 foot long. So as big as I could fit in the area that I needed. It's a multi-purpose space. It's going to be a growing space both in the winter and the summer. Most of my tomatoes will be grown in here. And if we look inside, there's my beds. Currently got a lot of things storing on them at the moment, which isn't ideal, but we all have problems with space, so they're in here keeping dry. On this side, if we look really closely, we got just some showing there from January sowing of carrots. Not a lot to showing, didn't have great germination, but it was a bit of a trial. This was February's, much better germination. Okay, and then just a bit further up I'm going to put some in a minute. I've also got some lettuce, not doing a lot of growing at the moment, but will take off fairly soon. And I've got some corn salad there as well. You'll notice that there's quite a bit of fungus growing, not affecting the plants. If anything, that's going to be good for the plants. Next bed here, this is where all my tomatoes will be, and we have got, just showing here, February's sowing of radishes. Nice good germination. Here was January's. There's a couple germinated but not a great deal, but it was worth a try. Here we've got January's sowing of beetroot, which I've got a few seedlings come up, and then just here is February's sowing of beetroot, just a few signs there, and then very shortly I'm going to put in March's sowing of beetroot. I sow beetroot every month, just a small amount, just to keep us going through, so I never run out, and we don't let them grow too bigly, too large. So 3 beds. This side will be low crops. The covers here are just covering my chitting potatoes, which are here. They're covered up for last night because we were in danger of frost. And I have got, as you can see, I've got a salad potato, which is, remember which variety it is, International Kidney, which is what you will know as Jersey Royals. Of course, unless they're grown in Jersey, they can't be called Jersey Royals, but Jersey Royals are International Kidneys. And then here I've got Jazzy. I've always been very impressed with Jazzy since they were released. In fact, since they've released, I've grown them every year. Fantastic cropping, and these are beautiful for just boiling and using cold in salad. This middle bed will be lots of tomatoes. I've already got the canes up for them to hang off. Okay, and then that back bed there along there, we're going to have a little trial with growing peanuts. Never grown them before. Okay, may be successful, maybe a complete flop. This space of my polytunnel has been left clear because we've got a little social area for the winter. It'll also fit my truck in if I need to do some repairs, and if need be, if I need more space for growing, I can bring pots in here and use them in the summer. So it's a bit of a mixed space at the end here, but the majority of it is for growing. Okay, so if we head off out of the greenhouse, okay, sorry, the polytunnel, we've got a couple of flower beds which are always planted with bee-friendly flowers to encourage the bees. There's my truck sitting there. I'll use that for picking up horse manure, all sorts of bits and pieces. All sign written up for what I do as a living. I'm a driving instructor. Got this bed here. I can't remember whether it was done or being done last year when I showed this video, but this is where all my strawberries grow. They're all sitting there just waiting for a little bit of heat to start growing. As you can see there, I've got some showing, but not very much growth. It's too cold at the moment. They will come on nicely. Just there I've got a store of wood and other bits and pieces, because one of my projects this year, and it will be going over there where you can see some sheds just the other side. That's all coming down and I'm going to build some new sheds. My gate for getting the truck in and out, some storage space. I've got some 8x4 sheets of ply which I managed to scrounge a couple of days ago, and they'll be going in towards the building the hedge. And at the end there is what I showed you quite detailed last year, which is my compost bin area, where there is currently a bin being emptied. There's another one ready to be spread out, and all those bins are active, and they've produced, I would say, 5 or 6 cubic meters of good rich compost this year. Last year in 2020, and I'm expecting the same, if not more, this year. So there's my little tour of my allotment. Hope you enjoyed seeing it. Okay, and I'll probably try and do a couple more videos this year, and showing what does grow and my successes and my failures and what I plan on doing otherwise. Okay, so signing off from me.